In a world where it feels like every single meal, vacation, and random thought gets shared online, there's this really fascinating group of people who just stay quiet. They're the unseen, the ones who hardly ever post. But what's really going on behind Not Choice? Well, let's dive in and explore the psychology of it all.
So, yeah, this is the big question, right? Why does some people stay invisible online? Is it for the reasons we usually think, or is there something, deeper happening? The answer, it turns out, might actually surprise you. It could totally reframe how you look at online privacy. Okay, so check this out. On one hand, you have what most of us assume, that people who don't post are probably shy, maybe a little antisocial, or even insecure. But the psychological reality? Wow, it's often the complete opposite. It can actually be a huge sign of confidence, self-awareness, and a really deep sense of security. So, how in the world do we get from insecure to confident? Well, our source material points to 5 key psychological traits that explain this whole mindset. Let's break them down one by one.
First up, and this is a big one, it's not about fear. It's about value. These folks aren't hiding from the world. They are actively choosing to protect a part of themselves. They kind of see their personal life as something for them, not for a public audience.
And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? It's about control, and it's about finding worth from within. Their self-esteem isn't tied to getting external validation from likes or comments. They're generating their own sense of well-being, which, when you think about it, is an incredibly powerful position to be in. All right, let's move on to the second trait, which builds right on top of the first one. People who post less online often have a really solid internal compass. They aren't easily swayed by what's trending or what everyone else is doing because they already have a strong sense of their own path.
So what does a strong sense of self really mean here? It all boils down to independence. It means your values and your goals are your own. You're not looking for a crowd to tell you who you are or what you should care about. Your identity comes from the inside. It's not waiting for approval from the outside.
This brings us right to our third trait, emotional security. This is tied directly to having a stable, secure kind of self-esteem. When you feel whole and complete just as you are, that nagging impulse to prove your worth to other people, it just kind of fades away.
And just look at the benefits that come with this. People with this kind of emotional security often feel a lot less anxiety. Why? Because they're not caught in that exhausting loop of seeking validation. And instead, all that energy gets redirected toward what actually matters to them, their ambitions and goals in the real world.
Okay, our fourth trait shifts a little bit from the internal to the interpersonal. A lot of people who stay private online are actually deep thinkers. They tend to crave substance and meaning in their conversations. The stuff that often gets lost in the super fast, superficial scroll of a social media feed. This quote captures that idea perfectly. It's all about quality over quantity. Why chase hundreds of heys and lols when you can invest in a few deep, authentic conversations? The ruler they use to measure themselves isn't public opinion. It's their own personal standards of integrity and character. And finally, we get to the fifth trait. This one is maybe the most deliberate of them all. In today's digital world, choosing privacy is a conscious act. It's about protecting your mental and emotional well-being. It's a strategic decision. Because they get it. They understand a fundamental truth about social media. You are almost always looking at someone's highlight reel, not their messy behind-the-scenes reality. By opting out of that constant exposure, they protect themselves from that comparison trap that can so easily steal your joy and contentment. So, when we put all 5 of these traits together, a new, much clearer picture starts to form. It's a complete reframing of what it means to be quiet online. Ultimately, the big takeaway is this. It was never about being antisocial. It's an active choice. A choice for peace over performance, for authenticity over applause, and for a quiet kind of confidence that doesn't need an audience to feel real. And that really leaves us with a final thought to mull over. As you go about your own digital life, it's worth asking yourself, in this world that's built on carefully crafted highlight reels, what does being truly authentic actually look like for you?